Hi everyone, we will continue chapter 1 GST from the book Understanding Mathematics by Ml Aggarwal of class 10. Now we will do question number 5. A dealer buys an article for rupees 6,000 from a wholesaler. The dealer sells the article to a consumer at 15% profit. If the sales are intra-state and the rate of GST is 18%, find first one input CGST and input SGST paid by the dealer. Second one output CGST and output SGST collected by the dealer. Third one the net CGST and SGST paid by the dealer. Fourth one the total amount paid by the consumer. So selling price of the wholesaler is equal to what? It's given as shopkeeper that is wholesaler. Okay, selling price of the wholesaler is what? 6,000. Selling price of the wholesaler is 6,000. Then, so what will be the cost price of the dealer? So selling price of the wholesaler is 6,000 means cost price of the dealer also will be what? 6,000, no? And he is getting a profit of 15%. Profit percentage is given as 15%. So what will be the profit? Profit will be 15% of 6,000. So 15 by 100 into 6,000, which is equal to, cancel it. So we will get it as 900 rupees will be the profit. So what will be the selling price of the dealer? Selling price of the dealer will be the cost price, that means CP plus this profit. That means 6,000 plus 900, which will be 6,900 will be the selling price of the dealer. Next, what will be the input CGST? GST is given as 18% since it is an intrastate transaction. So we have to do CGST and SGST. So input CGST and input SGST we have to find out, and output CGST and output SGST also we have to find out. Okay. So what will be the input CGST? It will be 9% of what? 6,000. No. Input CGST will be 9% of 6,000. And input SGST also will be 9% of 6,000. And output will be what? This selling price is 6,900. So output SGST and CGST will be 9% of 6,900. So CP of the dealer is 6,000, profit is 900. So SP 6,900. So first part of our question is input CGST and SGST we want to find out. So what will be input CGST? It will be input CGST will be total GST is what? GST is equal to 18%. Since it is an intrastate transaction, we have to take only the half. So 9% of input CGST is 6,000. That is 9 by 100 into 6,000. So it will be 540 rupees will be what? Input CGST. Same way input SGST also will be what? Input SGST also will be what? Same 9% of 6,000. That also will be 540. It will be the input CGST and input SGST. And second part of our question is we have to find out the output CGST and the output SGST. What will be output CGST? It will be 9% of, instead of 6,000 we got the SP as what? 6,900. So it will be 9 by 100 into 6900. Okay. So it will be 621. So output CGST is 621. So output SGST also will be what? SGST also will be 621 rupees. Okay. And third part is net CGST and SGST paid by the dealer. So what will be the net CGST paid by the dealer? Net CGST paid by the dealer will be, net CGST will be what? CGST, here also output CGST is 621. So net CGST will be output CGST minus input CGST. Output CGST is for 621 minus input CGST is 540. So net CGST will be 81. Similarly, net SGST also will be what? Output SGST minus input SGST. Here also 621 minus 540, same as this, we will get it as 81. So net CGST and net SGST will be 81. Then fourth part of our question is the total amount paid by the consumer. Total amount paid by the consumer will be the selling price of the dealer. That is, the last part is total amount. Total amount will be what? Total amount will be SP of the dealer. That is what? 6,900 plus CGST paid by the consumer. So CGST paid by the consumer is what? 621. CGST paid by the consumer. So that we got it as what? 621. CGST paid by the consumer plus SGST paid by the consumer. SGST paid by the consumer. That also will be what? Plus 621. So that will be the total amount. So we will get it as 8142 rupees. Question number 6. A manufacturer buys raw materials worth rupees 7,500, paying GST at the rate of 5%. He sells the finished product to a dealer at 40% profit. If the purchase and the sale both are intra-state and the rate of GST for the finished product is 12%, find, the first question is, the input tax under GST paid by the manufacturer. Second one, the output tax under GST collected by the manufacturer. And third question is, the tax under GST paid by the manufacturer to the central and the state governments. And the fourth question is, the amount paid by the dealer for the finished product. So given that the cost price is given as 7,500. Manufacturer buys raw materials worth 7,500, paying GST at the rate of 5%. He sells the finished product to the dealer at 40% profit. Okay, so cost price of the manufacturer is what? 7,500, and he is getting a profit of 40% profit he is getting. So profit will be what? Profit is equal to 40% of what? 7,500 of 7,500, that is 40 by 100 into 7,500, it will be 3,000. So what will be the selling price? Selling price will be cost price plus profit. So 7,500 plus 3,000, which will be 10,500 will be the selling price of the manufacturer. So that will be the cost price of the dealer. Cost price of the dealer will be what? 10,500. Okay. Then next we had to find out the input tax under GST paid by the manufacturer. So keep in mind that the input tax paid by the manufacturer will be, that means the manufacturer is paying a tax. So that will be what? Given GST is 5%. So input tax paid by the manufacturer will be, manufacturer input tax by the manufacturer will be 5% is a GST, 5% of 7,500. 5% of 7,500. That will be what? 5 by 100 into 7,500, which is equal to 375. So that is the input tax of the manufacturer. But question is an intra-state transaction. So instead of this, we can write it as CGST and separate GST 5% of 7,500. Since it is an intra-state transaction, CGST paid by the manufacturer, CGST paid by the manufacturer will be what? It will be 2.5% of what? 7,500. And again SGST paid by the manufacturer will be again 2.5% of 7,500. Okay, that will be what? CGST paid by the manufacturer will be 2.5 by 100 into 7,500. That is equal to what? 187.50. Here also you will get it as 187.50. If you add 187.50 and 187.50, you will get it as what? 375. No? Okay. So if the question is an interstate transaction, we can directly do 5% of 7,500. But our question is an intra-state transaction, so we have to do it separately. That means CGST, the net GST we have to find out. Input tax, no. So input tax means input CGST, SGST we have to find out. So CGST will be 187.50 and SGST also will be 187.50. So input CGST is equal to 187.50. Input SGST will be 187.50. Okay. That is our question. That is our first part of our question is input CGST and input SGST. Input tax paid by the manufacturer. Input CGST and input SGST paid by the manufacturer. Thus 187 input CGST and input SGST is 187.50. Okay, first part is over. Then second part is output tax collected by the manufacturer. So here collected by the manufacturer. Output tax collected by the manufacturer means here selling price is for 10,500. So we have to do with the 10,500. So he is getting a rate of GST is what? 12%. Read the question carefully. If the purchase and the sale both are intra-state and the rate of GST for the finished product is 12%. So that GST changes to 12%. So what will be the output tax under GST collected by the manufacturer? So collected by the manufacturer. So GST, second part of our question is we have to find out the SGST and CGST collected by the manufacturer. So we have 6% of 12% is the GST. So 6% of 10,500. So 6% of 10,500 is 6 by 100 into 10,000. That is equal to what? 630 rupees. That is the SGST collected by the manufacturer. SGST collected by the manufacturer. Similarly, CGST collected by the manufacturer also will be what? 630 rupees. CGST collected by the manufacturer will be what? 630 rupees. So net tax, the tax paid by the manufacturer to the central government and the state government, we have to find out. Third parties. So net tax paid by the manufacturer to the central government will be what? Output CGST minus input CGST. Net tax paid by the manufacturer, net tax paid by the manufacturer to the central government will be output CGST. So what is output CGST? Output CGST is output CGST. Third part will be output CGST minus input CGST. Output CGST is what? 630 and input CGST is what? 187.50. So 630 minus 187.50. $442.5. That is the net tax paid by the manufacturer to the central government. So what will be the net tax paid by the manufacturer to state government? That also we have to find out. So same as this. To the central government, state government also we are giving 442.50. Same as this answer. Net tax paid by the manufacturer to the state government is what? 442.50. Not only that, not only to the state government, it is also to the central government also. Net tax paid is what? 442.5. So net tax paid by the manufacturer, third part of our question, net tax paid by the manufacturer to the central government and the state government is, each one will be 442.50. Then amount paid by the dealer for the finished product. Amount paid by the dealer for the finished product will be selling price. Selling price is for 10,500. Selling price plus output CGST plus output SGST. Output SGST, which is equal to output CGST, we got it as 630 and this also 630. So we have to get it as 11760. That is the amount paid by the dealer for the finished product. Okay. 7th question. A manufacturer sells a TV to a dealer for rupees 18,000 and the dealer sells it to a consumer at a profit of 1,500. If the sales are intra-state and the rate of GST is 12%, find the amount of GST paid by the dealer to the state government, amount of GST received by the central government, third one, amount of GST received by the state government, fourth one, the amount that the consumer pays for the TV. So manufacturer sells a TV to a dealer for rupees 18,000. So selling price of the manufacturer is equal to 18,000. Okay. So since it is an intrastate transaction, GST is given as 12%. So we can write it as CGST and SGST. So CGST will be 6% of 18,000. So 6 by 100 into 18,000, which is equal to 1080. Similarly, SGST also will be 1080 rupees. Then, what will be the CP of the dealer? Selling price is 18,000. Selling price of the manufacturer is 18,000. So, automatically cost price of the dealer will be what? 18,000. And profit is given as 1,500. He is getting a profit of, that is dealer is getting a profit of 1,500. So SP will be what? CP plus profit. 19,500. And GST is given as 12%. Since it is an intrastate transaction. Here also we can write a CGST and SGST. CGST will be what? 6% of what? 19,500 is equal to 6 by 100 into 19,500. So which is equal to 1170. Similarly, SGST also will be 1170. That is the amount of GST collected by the dealer from the consumer. So that is the amount of GST, amount of tax collected by the dealer from the consumer. Okay, so that we got it as 1170. Then we want to find out, the first question is the amount of GST paid by the dealer to the state government. Amount of GST paid by the dealer to the state government. So it will be what? Paid by the dealer. First part of our question. Paid by the dealer will be what? Output SGST minus input SGST. Amount of GST paid by the dealer to the state government. State government we are discussing. So state government means SGST we have to take. So it will be output SGST minus input SGST. So it will be what? 1170 minus 1080 is equal to 90 rupees. Similarly, what will be the amount of GST received by the central government? Central government have to receive. So what will be the amount of GST received by the central government? Here amount of GST paid by the dealer to the state government is what? Rupees 90. Same way we have to give to the state government also, no? So state government also we are giving 90 rupees. So along with that 90 rupees we have to give to the central government. Along with that, here also we have to give the manufacturer. No, that means input CGST is what? Input CGST is 1080. So total tax received by the central government will be input CGST, that is input CGST is what? 1080, input CGST plus which one? Already we gave this output CGST minus input CGST will be what? 90 degree. That amount also. Okay. So it will be 1080 plus 90, it is equal to 1170 will be the amount of GST received by the central government. Think carefully and solve this problem. Okay, little bit confusion in the second part, I think so. Then third part is the tax amount of GST received by the state government. Amount of GST received by the state government is same as what? Amount of GST received by the central government. Central government they receive what? 1170. Central government receiving 1170 means state government also receiving what? We are giving half, no. So 1170 will be the amount of GST received by the state government. So both GST received by the state government and the central government will be 1170, and the third part of our question is amount of GST received by the state government. State government is 1170, and second part of our question is the amount of GST received by the central government. So second answer and third answer both are same 1170. Then last one is the amount that the consumer pays for the TV. So what will be the amount of amount that the consumer pays for the TV? That is total SP is what? 19,500. Then GST, output CGST, output CGST and output SGST. Output CGST is what? 1170 and output SGST also will be what? 1170. So total amount is 19500, that is 19,500, 19,500 plus output CGST, that is output CGST is what? 1170 and output SGST is 1170. It is 21840. So that is the last part, that is the amount of that the consumer pays for the TV. Okay, thank you.